Tell us about yourself, Emma.
I live in Idaho, and I am a comedian and a beekeeper, and I have 6 kids. I work the road a lot.
And that's it.
And that's it. And that's all.
Just a beekeeper, mother of 6 successful comedians.
That's all, you guys.
Without further ado, please put your hands together for the one, the only, Emma Arnold!
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming down. Thank you to the band. How about it for the band? Oh my God. The Thomas Call Band. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you. Boy, it just adds a little extra sauce, doesn't it, having a live band? Like, oh, so fancy. Before we start, I wanted to real quick say something about, we're taping my special, and we're doing it here in Boise, Idaho, my hometown. And people were like, when we were planning to do this, they were like, do you want to do it in LA or New York? And I was like, I want to do it in Idaho. Because it's the best. Yeah. And I love it here, and I actually started performing here at VAC. This was the first place I ever performed, and yeah, thank you. VAC has always been, not just to me, but to a lot of people in the arts community, super supportive of people trying new weird things and, getting their sea legs and being weird and wonderful, and I just want to say a real quick thank you to Sam and the VAC, because they mean the world to me. So, thank you, Sam. And I wanted to do it here because I just love this, and I don't know, I just felt like this was sort of special. So, what do you guys think about my beaver? It's bigger than you thought it would be, right? It's pretty big. When my friend was making it, he was like, "How big do you want your beaver to be?" And I was like, "How big can you make?" Like, is the sky the limit? Can we fill the whole building with my beaver? We couldn't. That's as big as you can get a beaver, apparently. But this is amazing, and I love it. And people, I'm sure sometimes when people are like, oh, they'll watch this and they'll be like, why did you choose to have a beaver up there? And I'm about to get real fucking cheesy with you, and I'm going to tell you it's because I have a beaver tattoo on my wrist. And in the way of my people, I'm gonna white girl explain to you what my tattoo means. Guys, we like Starbucks, and we're telling you what our tattoos mean. That's what we're all about. When I first, about 5 years ago, I started comedy, and about that same time, I got divorced, and those things were pretty connected, actually. It turned out that for my marriage, it was not a great thing for me to start speaking up for myself and being real mouthy. So they did not mesh, those two things, very well. And I know it seems sometimes people will be like, oh, why did you start in comedy? And it really was because at the same time that I got separated and I suddenly had 3 little boys to take care of on my own with no education and no job experience and no job skills because I was a stay-at-home mom, I started comedy and was like, yep, this is gonna work great, and threw my eggs in that basket, and luckily it did, because poverty is a great motivator, and you really hustle your ass off when you're a single mom. But when I first started, and I had been doing comedy for about 6 months, I was really overwhelmed because I was like, how do you do this? How do you make this work? How do you make a career out of something that's just sort of an idea, And I had this dream one night that my kids and I were standing down by the Boise River, and a beaver swam up to us. And my son, my youngest, picked up the beaver and was petting it, and I was like, oh, no, those are super dangerous, I think. Or maybe not. And he was sitting there, and he was petting it, and then I looked out, and I saw that this beaver had built this big dam across the Boise River and had stopped it up, and there was a big pond, and the water was diverted to one side, and I was standing there thinking, how did one beaver do all of this alone? How did one beaver make this happen? And my son was holding the beaver, and he handed it to me, and you guys, I realized Beaver was me. Yeah. You're so much nicer than that deserves. And I said to the Beaver, how did you build this dam all by yourself? And the Beaver said, stick by stick. And I know that's the cheesiest goddamn thing you've ever heard. But every time I get overwhelmed and I get scared and I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? How am I gonna do this? I just do it stick by stick. And I just put one stick on another stick and another stick on another stick. And that's what tonight is about. We're just laying some sticks down together, guys. Just putting some sticks down. Thank you. I told my son I was gonna tell that story and he was like, yeah, don't tell that story. People are gonna think you're a dork. Like, I think the word is out, actually. People are on to that. It's true. I had the 3 kids, and then I got into a Brady Bunch situation, and now I have 3 more kids. I have 6 kids now, and who else has 6 kids? Just me? Okay. You're not wrong. If you were like, we stayed at 1, because that's sensible. Correct. That's true. We went with 6. Sometimes when I'm doing a show, the person afterward will be like, do you really have 6 kids? Was that a joke? And I'm like, no, it's not a joke because it's not fucking funny. It's not funny. It's just this sad reality I live with every day, all the time. It's actually pretty great. It's surprisingly great. It's one of those things that is easier than it has any right to be. My kids are pretty amazing. They all get along surprisingly well. I really love my stepkids, and not just because they didn't wreck my taint on the way out. I tell you, I was worried about being a step-parent because, I have step-parents, one of whom is amazing and is here tonight. The other one is not here. And I was worried because it seemed like a challenging thing, but it really does make a huge difference when those children did not, tear you open on the way out. You can love them so much easier when you're not, every time you look at them, you don't think, you big-headed idiot, Boy, you sure got your dad's noggin, didn't you? It's nice. It's nice. That joke sometimes, the ladies laugh, and then I can see that it bums the guys out. It does. Because they're like, oh, she's a lovely gal. Sounds like she has a real wrecked situation. And I do. I do. It works fine. It's great. It came home from the war wounded, It's like a Vietnam vet standing in the backyard like, fuck. What? It's got some PTSD, It's working through that. I've always had a very good relationship with Planned Parenthood. Round of applause for Planned Parenthood. Yeah. They have been taking care of me since I was a teenager, keeping me road ready, and I really appreciate that. You guys funded a couple tours, and I really, thank you. Thank you. So I don't want you to think this next story is me knocking Planned Parenthood in any way, but a few years ago, right after my divorce, when I was a little self-conscious because I hadn't been with anybody but my husband, and I was like a little embarrassed, and I was kind of worried. I was up in the stirrups getting my oil checked. Here's the thing about Planned Parenthood that I think maybe the people who don't support Planned Parenthood realize. If you're a woman who without insurance, your vagina does not just go away, does it? It just stays there. And it's kind of like owning a Kia, Because that shit's gonna break down. It's gonna fall apart on you at some point. And you gotta take your little Kia cooch in, get it looked at. My mechanic was being a real dick about that when I tried to get him to do both oil changes. So I'm up in the stirrups, It's a very vulnerable position. And the doctor, who was lovely, she was digging around in there, doing her thing. And she leaned back and said, "Ooh, how many natural childbirths did you say you would have?" And I was like, 3. And she was like, "Huh." Which hurts enough. But then she was like, "Just the 3, huh? Okay." There's no need to be verbally abusive here. And I tell you, I have Kegeled every day since that day. I have never stopped Kegling since. I'm Kegling right now. You can tell because my eyebrows go up and down. I can't do it without the eyebrows. Ladies, should we just do a set together? Let's just do a set together, shall we? Let's just, you know what? I'll count us down. 5, 4, 3. You're not Kegling. Kegel. 2, 1, and release. That feels good, doesn't it? It feels better. I feel good. I Kegel all the time, constantly. I Kegel so much, I feel like if I wanted to, I could pick up this stage and walk out with it. Just pop a squat. Suction cup on there. Sorry about that. I feel like Sam might let me keep it at that point. I'd be like, "You want this back?" He'd be like, "Nope, that's yours now. We'll build another one." That one's very sticky. Sorry. Too far. You're right. Too far. You guys are really fun. Are you guys having fun? I feel like this has been a great night. I just went to Atlanta. I was in Atlanta, and I got to bring my son with me, and that was really special. Sometimes I get to take my kids with me when I tour, and I love taking any of my kids. I love taking them, but it's especially fun when I get to take my autistic kid with me, because he is a real treat. And he's at the age, he's 13 now, and he's at the age where I should be embarrassing him in public, but I've never pulled that off. It's always me. It's always the opposite of that. He's wonderful. My son is great. I don't know if you have an autistic person in your life. You're lucky if you do. They're such magical, amazing people. They're so fun. He's high functioning, so what that means is he struggles with motor skills. He struggled when he was little to hold a pencil, tie his shoes, that type of thing. But he really struggles a lot with social situations. To give you a good example, we were at a movie one time, and we were sitting, and it was like a pin drop silent moment of this sold out movie. And everybody was edge of the seats. And my son chose that exact moment to announce to a theater full of people that Asians love waterfalls. What does that even mean? I leaned over to him and I was like, "Hey, no. Buddy, you can't just yell something out. Like, this isn't a Trump rally. You know, you can't just have an opinion on a minority and take the whole thing with that, just take the whole thing." And I was like, you're gonna have to, we'll talk about this when we get outside. And he's like, "No, they do. Asians love waterfalls." And I'm gonna tell you why. We were at Multnomah Falls, and I saw 3 busfuls of Asians get off. And I counted 146 Asian people, and they were all taking pictures and having a great time. And then I counted 53 white people, but they were not having fun. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's racist, but the math is there, Put together a spreadsheet. Let's present this dissertation. I worried about that joke for a while because sometimes you can feel everybody's a little like, especially in Idaho, everybody's like, we're not sure if that's racist. We're so polite here in Boise. Everybody's so nice. Everybody's always like, oh, shit. Oh, dear. So I had a half Korean opener for a while who was coming around the country with me. So I passed it by her, and I was like, hey, I just want to run this joke by you and make sure, it's okay. And I told it to her, and she was like, oh, actually, no. That's not racist, because we fucking love waterfalls. Oh, what's not to like? A water feature? Come on, shut up. I was like, I don't prefer them, like, my people like pumpkin spice lattes, and that's pretty much it. He's super fun. He's really, really smart. Like I said, he has a lot of other struggles, but he could actually speak in full sentences when he was like a year old, which if you don't have kids is very young. It's a little like if your dog came over to you one day and was like, I don't prefer cream of wheat, mother. Wow, yikes. You're a spooky baby, aren't you? Scary. He got 8 teeth when he was a month old. So he was just this little bald baby with all these teeth. Who didn't sleep and would lay next to me like... I like robots. Okay. I just saw this episode of The X-Files. It doesn't end well for me. He's so smart, he got 100% on the math and science section of the Idaho standardized testing, which is pretty cool. Yeah, thank you. That's pretty cool. Usually the whole crowd applauds for that, but this row hates disabled kids right here. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's cool. Actually, double down on that. That can get you a cabinet position now. You just go in and be like, I don't like them. Me? I don't like them. Well, you're in charge of education now. There you go. Actually, when I tell that joke, a lot of times the crowd just gets really quiet, and I can feel that they're thinking, Idaho, how hard is that test? Regular hard, Texas hard, okay? He did. He got 100% on that. I was pretty impressed. To be fair, he did also shit his pants during that test, so... I'm going to tell you this story, and I don't want you to feel bad for him. I talked to him about it beforehand, and I was like, hey, I want to put this in my special. Are you okay? Would it make you feel embarrassed? And he was like, no. And I was like, thank you, autism. There are some real perks. Real perks. And he was like, but it's a really good story, so if you want to use it, you have to pay me $100. So I paid $100 for this joke, and it is worth every goddamn penny. So I got a call from my son's teacher the day of the testing. And by the way, if you're a special ed teacher, I appreciate you so much. I want you to know, I know you don't get paid a lot, and I know that you have to clean shit up off the walls sometimes, but I love you and I appreciate you, and you can come to anything of mine for free, and you can have free honey, and I love you. Yeah, thanks for special ed teachers. They're saints, absolute saints. They're really doing the most amazing work. I got a call from his teacher who's been so good to him for so many years. And he was like, hey, just thought I'd let you know your son had a little accident during the testing today. He seems fine with it. Of course he does. But some of the other kids were teasing him, maybe when he gets home, talk to him about what happened. So when my son came home, I'm like, hey, bud, I heard you had a little problem during class today. You want to talk about what happened? And my son was like, oh, yeah, that. Yeah, I shit my pants. And he's like, yeah, full on. And I was like, oh, well, do you want to provide maybe a little more detail on what went down? And he was like, oh, sure, yeah, okay. You know, I think the situation was that I did trust a fart when I should not have. Sure. Yeah. Those will squeak away from you, right? Like those will, Yeah, some of you got very quiet on that, like you've never shit your pants, and I don't appreciate that at all. Everybody in the world has shit their pants. You know, this is a very divided time in our country's history. And the one thing that we have to unite us as a people, as Americans, is that we've all shit our pants at some point. And I won't have this section taking that away from America. Just because, oh, I'm sorry, no, you guys just have excellent sphincter control. It's never happened. Everybody shit their pants, and some people have shit a white sundress on a first date is a thing that's happened to some people. So my son, I was like, well, what did you do? How did you handle it? And my son was like, oh, well, you know, I just went up to the teacher, and I was like, 2 things. Number 1, I'm gonna need another pencil. Number 2, I've shit my pants. Equally important things, these 2 things. And the teacher, who again is so kind and lovely, was like, go to the bathroom and clean up, you know, just don't let anybody know. So my son goes to the bathroom, he throws his underwear away, he cleans up, he's a real trooper. So I was like, well, if you handled it so efficiently and quietly, like how did anybody know to even tease you? And he was like, oh, that, well, when I got outside the bathroom, one of the kids from my class was sitting there crying because he was worried that he had failed that test. So I went over to him and was like, hey man, at least you didn't shit your pants. Which is so beautiful, right? Like, I just think that's so amazing. Yeah, what a nice boy. You know, sometimes autistic people can struggle with like empathy and compassion, and I mean, who among us doesn't? That's like the big thing, right? But I just thought it was so beautiful that my autistic son would take a moment and comfort this poor idiot kid, you know, just... It's nice. Take a moment for the less fortunate. It's nice. But then that fucking kid, he told all the kids in my son's class that my son had had an accident, and he gave him the nickname Shit Shorts. Well, yeah, which is rough. That's hard. We all remember junior high, remember, you know, having a rough time. But I feel like there's enough of a comedian in me that I was like, oh, I kind of respect that professionally. Shit Shorts. Like, that's some pretty solid 1980s bullying right there. You don't see that kind of dedication to the craft from kids anymore, is my point. Like, Shit Shorts, not everybody's on board. But we're all gonna say it together just to have a feel for it. So let's 1, 2, 3, Shit Shorts. It felt pretty good, didn't it? Should we go push a 7th grader? Let's do after the thing here. Shit Shorts. And I was like, well, that's probably gonna stick with you. I had a very dumb nickname as a teenager. Also, you should just lean into that, you know, just, you're Shit Shorts now. Be Shit Shorts, own it, take it, make it yours. And then in college, you can be like, Shit Shorts brought a keg, you know, just. But I couldn't tell, you know, sometimes with autistic kids, it's hard to tell. He's so stoic, it can be a little monotone. I couldn't tell if he was upset, so I was like, hey, just to check in, like, are you okay about the Shit Shorts thing? Are your feelings hurt? And my son was like, oh, no. I'll be Shit Shorts. I fucking nailed that test, so. He did, you guys. He's not wrong. I've been, guys, I have a boyfriend. No big deal. I have a boyfriend. We're not married. And here's why. Because after he asked me to marry him, a few months later, when I was thinking about it, I sent him a naked picture. Very sexy. And he texted back immediately, did you pay your parking ticket? No, I didn't. And I told him, I'm gonna tell people that for the rest of our lives. That joke is gonna be in my routine for 1,000 years. I'm gonna get genetic surgery to live forever so that I can tell that joke and never stop telling that joke. And he was like, that's not funny. Nobody's gonna think that's funny. That I said, did you pay your parking ticket in response to a naked picture? And he's here right now. So I just want to take a quick poll. Just a quick informal poll. You know, nothing scientific, but you know, by round of applause, who thinks it's really funny that, okay, good to know. It's good to know. He's actually, that comment aside, he's actually a really wonderful dude. When we first started dating, I was very intimidated by him because I had only dated trash before that. I have a type, and it is big and mean, unfortunately. But no, we started dating, and I was a little intimidated by him because he's very smart. He has his doctorate in physics. I was once fired from the Chuckarama buffet, so those things are different. He comes from a really good family. When I met his family, like I was immediately in love with them. They're like the nicest, classiest people. I come from the kind of family, like I was born in salmon. Nobody ever applauds for that. Don't. I come from the kind of family where my aunt and my grandma one time got into a fist fight at a demolition derby. Over nachos. And that shit lasted for 2 years. They didn't speak for 2 years over the nacho incident. Again. So I was very intimidated by him. We'd go out on dates, and the whole time I'd be like, oh, remember to put your napkin in your lap so he thinks you're people, you know, like so nervous the whole time. And the first time we ever had sex, which was on our 3rd date, let's say that. It was not super sooner than that. I liked him. The first time we ever had sex, we had that problem that if you're a single parent, you have, which is I had kids at my house, he had kids at his house, so we did the thing that you do when you're a single parent, is we went and we fucked in his sister's backyard. She was out of town, and she has very comfortable patio furniture, it turns out, so I'm so sorry if she ever sees this. That was not a one-time thing. You really got your money's worth on those cushions, just so you know. And I hadn't had sex with very many people, since I had been married, and so I was nervous, and I was, we talked about, the Planned Parenthood situation here, and so I was nervous about how I felt and how I looked, and we got, naked, and we were outside, and it was a summer day, and it was a night. It was a summer night. Evening, it was evening. It was dark, and we started making love, and it was great. It was really good. It was beautiful, and I was sort of just overwhelmed by the moment because it was like, it was just this beautiful, amazing evening, and I liked him so much, and I was like, I'm gonna tell him that I love him, which now we know is too soon. That's too soon. But I liked him so much, and right as the words were about to come out of my mouth, I was sort of saved at that moment by saying something dumb by him. He pulled back, and he was like, I have to tell you something. And I was like, oh no. Because the worst time for someone to tell you a thing is when their body is inside your body. That's very bad timing. So, and then immediately, the first thing that came to my mind, the very first thing was, I was like, oh, he thinks my boobs are too small. It's the very first thing that came to my mind. And everybody, go ahead. Everybody's looking at my boobs now. Can feel it. And I need you guys to know something. This is all bra magic up here. Like, I said I would do an honest comedy special, and like, those aren't, guys. These are not real boobs. These are little fakey boobs that they make you wear if you want to be famous. And they're like, pretend you have tits up there. And I'm like, I can't even do that for one night. Thank you. You guys are really nice. Yeah. You know what? I'll sign those. Somebody can have them after the show. They smell like my boob sweat. No, I was very self-conscious because I was wearing a push-up bra, and up until then, he had seen, you know, this action, and I was worried that when I had taken off, he was gonna be like, "The fuck is this shit? You're lying to me already? We've been on 2 dates, and you're already lying, huh?" But also, I was very self-conscious because I had always, my whole life, been very self-conscious of having small boobs because my sisters, who are beautiful and amazing people, all had double D boobs. And I, instead of getting tits when I was 13, got cystic acne. Which is why I'm funny. Because that was the only way to get any attention. It was just like, you can laugh at me. I'm also really good at blowjobs, because it's the other thing. If you ever get an offer from a girl who has cystic acne for a blowjay, you fucking take that shit. We are givers. We will give to the moon. So we're laying there, and he's inside me, and he's like, I gotta tell you something. And I'm like, it's my tits. And he was like, oh, it's hard to tell you this, but I feel like I have to say it. And I was like, oh my God, it's not the outside of me, it's the inside. And I don't mean my soul, because who cares? Like, there's a time and a place to worry about whether someone likes your personality, while your fucking's not one of those times. And I was like, maybe he's in there and it's so loose. Maybe my beaver is so big that he's just in there like, wow. Oh, wow. This is a real Harry Potter tent situation. It is a lot bigger on the inside. Is that a fainting couch? That's nice. Listen, you're a real nice girl. I've enjoyed our time together. But if I can find my way out, I am gonna go. I'm gonna leave. I don't. We're done. And so I was laying there like, oh no. And I was like, I'm sorry if I feel big. And he was like, what? No. You feel amazing. It's amazing. He said, your pussy's magic. He didn't say that, but it is. And he was like, no, this has been great. And I really like you. But I have to tell you that I lost my gum in your hair like 5 minutes ago. And it is really working its way up. We should probably stop so you can cut that shit out and we can keep going. And I was like, oh, for sure this dumb motherfucker's not too good for me. Never mind. We've been so happy ever since, guys. We've been so happy. Thank you. Thank you. He's given me the best gift I could have ever asked for, and that is daughters. I love having girls. I have 3 boys of my own, and now I get to have 2 stepdaughters, and I really just love love that. I love the kind of feminine energy that brings to a house. And I'm not saying boys and girls are so different, but I'll tell you that our boys and our girls are so different. Like when I had 3 boys, I don't know if you if you have 1 boy, it's a boy, 2 boys, 2 boys, 3 boys, pack of feral dogs. That's what you have there. You just have this mess of farting and poking and punching all the time. You're like, stop. We don't use toilet seats as weapons. Oh God, what is happening? And then I would go over to his house and his daughter would be like, do you want to sew something with us? And I'd be like, yes. I want to sew something with you so bad. They're so great. Also, the puberty talk, like with my sons, I had always expected that I would be really, when it came time for the puberty talk and the sex talk, that I would be super groovy and very cool about it. And then, when it finally came time and my teenager was coming to me and being like, I got some questions, and I was like, sure. Listen, your body and hair, and that, and your penis, probably, and at night, I hear, and that's a mess. And you're gonna wanna, and that's fine, that's totally healthy, and I encourage it. And porn, I don't know what to tell you about porn, because maybe it's objectifying, maybe it's bad, but also it's the best. It's so great. Mommy struggles with it too, so I don't know, bud. I don't know. My son was like, I'm gonna stop you right there. I can already open an incognito tab. I don't need anything else. Like, okay, it's not really what I was worried about. But when my stepdaughter, when she turned 11, she came to me and she said, I really want to take the puberty class that they're offering through school. Because, Idaho doesn't offer sex ed, hardly, so you gotta go take one somewhere else, like Planned Parenthood, yeah. And I wish we had taken the Planned Parenthood one, but she actually had a sign up for this other thing. And I was like, I'd love to take you. And she was like, okay, it's $125 a person. And I was like, I'll just tell you everything you need to know about your body. You're 11? Okay, well, it's about to betray you. It's all sleek and smooth, and now it's gonna do a bunch of stuff. But she wanted to go to this class, so I was like, I'd love to take you. We'll bond. It'll be her mom passed away a few years ago, so I'm kind of it. And I was really honored that she wanted to do this mom thing with me. So I took her, and the beginning of the class I was a little bothered by, because it was probably about 50 11 and 12-year-old girls. And the teacher spent the first hour of the class teaching these young women about hair removal and how to pick a pretty bra. Yeah. She taught them about Nair. Like, I didn't even know Nair was still a thing. I was like, is this 1972? Is the next hour all on douching? Just gonna really get into it. Like, sweetie, sometimes your vagina is gonna smell like a vagina, and that's gross. It can smell like strawberries. Or, of course, cool ocean breeze is another option you can have for your pussy smell. So she spent a lot of time on waxing and shaving and with all these girls, and I'm like, are we, like, what's happening here? Like, are we trying, well, sweetie, you're 11 now. Better get you in the game. I don't want you to gross out some dude with some leg hair. No. Let's get you ready to fuck. No, I didn't make the rules, guys. I'm telling you, it was offensive. So I was really bothered. And then we broke for like a snack, and we came back, and I realized that the whole first part of the class was to sort of ease these young women into the idea of their bodies. Because in the beginning of the class, when she was explaining bras, she showed a picture of a breast. And she was like, here's a normal, natural woman's breast. And right here you have your breast tissue, and here you have your areola. And one little girl in the back yelled, disgusting! And I was like, oh, well, that is for sure not the disgusting thing about the lady body. A cute little nipple, like, we haven't even gotten to vaginal discharge yet. Like, that nipple doesn't even have hair yet. There should be a second class that you get to take when you're like 35, where they're like, well, congrats on growing a beard. I don't want to brag to you, but I can grow such a fucking great beard. It's so good. It's so full. And I just feel like if the world could just know, could just understand how smooth I am on the inside, I could walk around like Sasquatch all the time, you know? It's a pretty good one. No, but I realized, I was like, oh, she's kind of like, she's easing these girls into womanhood and not like all the facts about it. And for the second half of the class, she brought out, to teach it, a vagina hand puppet. And not just the vagina, the full female reproductive system. Like, it went all the way up to her shoulder. This thing was huge. Which is not a judgment. We're all built different, you know? Like, everybody's vagina puppet is their own and beautiful. It's fine. Some people have deep canals, you know? And she taught the whole second end of the class with this puppet. And it was amazing, actually. I learned so much about my body. It was incredible. And I'm just going to go ahead. There are some blank faces here, so I'm just going to go ahead and teach the class. Just a little bit of it. She just used the puppet, and she's like, okay, you know, here are your labia, majora, minora. Here's your vulva. You know, you go inside. Oh, here's your vaginal. Here's your clitoris. Here's your vaginal canal. Here's your cervix coming up here. Here's your uterus. Here's your fallopies. And thank you. And I learned this fact that has really stuck with me. Do you guys know what the strongest muscle in the human body is? I'm getting hearing a lot of things, but the correct answer is the uterus. Yeah, it's your uterus. Do you know what's not the strongest muscle in the human body? And this is the puppet, guys. This is what the puppet taught us. The penis. According to the puppet, the penis is not a muscle at all, but a stupid blood tube you use for pointing at people whose lives you want to ruin. It's the puppet, guys. I'm just passing along info. Just as the blood sock waggles around. It was great, actually. It was really cool. The only problem I had with it was I felt like there was one thing that the teacher glossed over very quickly. She was like, oh, here's your labia, and here's your clitoris. Moving on. I was like, excuse me, Emma Arnold. Comedian. Clitoris enthusiast. I thought we'd do like a 2-week intensive on that. Just kind of popping off, like, oh, that's not... why aren't we teaching girls, listen, yeah, you're gonna bleed, you're gonna whatever, nair if you have to, but this little fucking thing. This little fucking thing is what? Always half an inch higher than you think it's gonna be, right? Like, oh, you guys are poking our urethras. I have had a lifetime of dumb men poking my urethra, and I'm done with it. Stop poking our urethras! Stop poking our urethras! I'm running for president, and that's my whole platform, is that you guys are gonna find the clitoris. This isn't even a joke, this is a PSA. Did you know that the clitoris is shaped like this? It's not just the stupid little, like, the thing you're touching is you. Like I said, I teach a 2-week intensive, so I just sign up for that. It was so great, and my daughter had such a good time. And I'll be honest with you, I forgot the end of that joke. I did. So We'll pretend the clitoris thing was the punchline, and if it comes back to me, we'll pause, and we'll do it like there was no stop there. It happens. It happens. I got 6 kids. I'm just one fucking person up here. You guys are so nice. You guys are so nice. It's so nice to be back in Boise. It's so nice to be home. I've been on the road a lot lately, and when I was in New York, I did a little radio, and while I was on the radio, I said some things about Trump, and before I even got done with radio, the producer leaned over at me and was like, "Don't check your Twitter." Maybe ever again, okay? And I was like, I mean, I get harassed online a lot. I have a very thick skin, which I shouldn't have to, but I still do. You gotta be a walking callus when you're a comedian, a woman comedian. But I started checking my Twitter, and then my notifications, there were a bunch of threats from dudes, a lot of rape threats, a lot of murder threats, some threats that they were gonna kill my kids, rape my kids before killing my kids. But mixed in with those was a lot of men who had tweeted pictures of their flaccid penises to me, which leads me to believe that maybe men don't realize how not intimidating your flaccid penis is. Like a rape threat, sure, but your flaccid penis? Oh. I don't like what you said about the president, it's like... No one's ever been scared of a flaccid penis. Like when you see a flaccid penis, male or female, I feel like your reaction is like, oh. He's like a dead mouse, You're just like. No, thank you. Like even the prettiest ones, you just want to like rub on your cheek, It's like, oh. Like an erection, send me your erection if you're gonna harass. Like that's some power behind it. Like an erection, you're like, oh, we get the courts, And all government, oh, erection. But like your flaccid penis is just this reminder to a woman that you're like, oh right, because you're walking around with your fragile bits on the outside all the fucking time, aren't you? And that's gotta be real scary. Just always walking around knowing like, oh. Careful. But you should be in charge, You should, because that makes sense. And I don't want you to feel like I'm hating on penises. I actually love penises. I think they're really fantastic, and some people don't like getting dick pics. I really like getting dick pics, as long as I know the person and have requested them. I'm not as crazy about the, salutation dick pic. If you're gonna send a dick pic, here's a quick little, way to know when it's time to send a dick pic. I made this little song for you, so you'll remember the order to send your dick in. It goes, head, shoulders, knees, and then your penis. If she asked to see it, don't spring that on people. Penises are great. They're very pretty. I enjoy a penis. I don't like balls. I'm gonna be real with you. But nobody likes balls. Nobody's into balls. It's the one thing, literally the one thing we don't masturbate to. Humans, I mean. Did you know there's a fetish where they masturbate to people getting scared by popping balloons? That's a real fetish, that someone can't come unless they see a popping balloon and someone being like, ah, and then they can come. That's a real fetish. But nobody masturbates to balls. How's that feel? Bad, right? Does that feel bad, knowing you have a piece of squashiness on your anatomy that nobody masturbates to? Is that why you guys are so mad? You're just walking around all the time just remembering how ugly your balls are? I feel like that's gotta be rough. Just, because like, I don't know if you've ever looked through, like on YouPorn, like you can look through the keywords people search, and I like to look through that, and there's no balls. Nobody's ever searching balls. Nobody's ever been like, oh, I'm so horny. I just gotta find a really good, really nice, like, hot August day at the Idaho Fair. Cargo shorts. Walking for the last 2 hours. Stuck to the thigh. Spread out. Looking like a boiled egg in a coffee filter. I just gotta find that, then I can come. I mean, think how ugly buttholes are, and people will look for those a lot. People love buttholes. America loves buttholes is the other thing I'm gonna run on. We do. You guys are very sweet. Are you guys married? No. Good for you. Keeping it spicy. Keeping it spicy. Yeah, me neither. No, I've been dating this guy for a while, and, we've reached that point. We've been together for a few years where you got to start keeping things, a little interesting. You get into a rut sometimes, and I'm gone a lot. And so recently I was like, hey, what would you think if we tried a little bit of phone sex? My boyfriend was like, I don't want to have phone sex with you because if I say something stupid, you're going to talk about it on stage. And that is true. I sure am. And he knows that because one time I used to have a joke about how I'm 37 and I have major baby fever. Like it hit me hard when I turned 36 last year, and even though we have 6 kids, I want a baby so fucking bad. I want a baby all the time. I want a baby so bad. And the only way he finally talked me out of having a baby was he was like, we'll have to get one of those church vans. And I was like, oh. Never mind. That's a commitment. Like a minivan is one thing, but the church van, that's a step up into nuts is what that is. But he has a vasectomy anyway, so it's like we can kind of talk about it, and I don't know if you know this, but like making a baby sex is really good sex. It's sexy sex. And so one time when we were fucking, I was like, put a baby in me, just for dirty talk, for funsies, okay? For funsies, because he has a vasectomy, so it's a safe thing to just plunge right into, And I was like, put a baby in me, and he stopped and was like, I don't want to have a child with you, and I was like. I just don't feel like it's a good idea, and we're both a little older, and your eggs have probably gotten to an age where we'd have a Down syndrome child. Also, your family has a history of schizophrenia and alcoholism that I'm not nuts about, I'll be honest. Just fuck me! So, I did talk about that a little bit. He was like, I'm not good at dirty talk. I don't like it. I'm not good at it. He's like, you'll make fun of me. And I was like, how about this? How about let's just try it. And no matter what happens, no matter what you say, we'll keep going. We'll keep it. It'll be sexy no matter what, I promise. We'll just keep moving. So he's like, okay, yeah, all right, let's try it. And he's like, okay, yeah, all right. I come to your hotel room, and my pants are on. It's great. It's a good start. I'm glad you didn't ride up in this scenario in the elevator with your dick out. That would have distracted me, probably. He's like, I come to your room, and I take my pants off, and I'm feeling a little dominant, so I tell you to get on your knees. Okay. Solid start. He's like, I tell you to go ahead and blow me. Okay. He's like, yeah. And I take my dick and I rub it all over your face. Do you? My face, you know? Like you're just really finger painting with that. But I said I wouldn't make fun. I said I wouldn't stop. So I was like, yeah, you're really getting in there. It's all over my face, and I like that. I'm very aroused by that. And he's like, yeah, and then I take my cock and I smack you in the cheek with it. Why? Why do you do that? It's not a rhetorical question. I want an answer. Why are you guys always smacking us in the cheek with your cocks? Like, where did that come from? It's in like every porn, and like I'm down for just about anything. But it's not that I'm like, oh, I don't want you to do that. It's just like, I don't know what you want from me in that moment. Like, am I supposed to hate it? And am I supposed, oh, God, no, oh, ow, it's so heavy? Maybe? No, the bruising. I'll be off solids for a week. Maybe. Or am I supposed to love it? Am I supposed to be like, yes, oh my God, thank you. It's really exfoliating, you know, just, I don't know, but I hate it. But I was like, yay, you're really smacking my cheeks with it, and I'm taking it like a champ, or maybe not. But he was really into it. I could tell it was turning him on, and he was like, yeah. And then I take my cock and I put it in your mouth. Okay. He's like, and then I take it out and I shove it in your eye. What? I know I said I wasn't going to stop you, but no. No, you don't. I can't be taking a cock in the eye. I wear contact lenses, you know? My optometrist has been very clear that my cockeye days are over. Those are behind me. Those are times for a younger woman. Is that something, oh my God, is that something you want to try? Like, I'm like, let's do anal. And you're like, let me skull fuck you. Jeez. I was like, I'm gonna have to tell you, I think that's a hard no for me. I said I'd be down for anything, and he was like, no, I didn't mean it. I meant like, oh, and he's like, this is why I didn't want to do this, because I knew I said something dumb, and then I knew you'd make fun of me, and I was like, no, let's start over, let's keep going. And he was like, oh, fine. And I was like, let's do a little role play. How about this? I've been a bad girl. Now you go. And he's like, okay, fine. You've been a bad girl, and I'm gonna give you a spanking. Okay. And he's like, so I go up to the kitchen. Let's maybe just keep this simple. He's like, yeah, I go up to the kitchen. You've been such a bad girl. I open the utensil drawer, and I pull out one of those, what are they called? I take out one of the, you make a cake with them? I pull out, you know, they have a thing on the, it's the handle. You can scrape with it. I just wanted to see where the spankers were sitting, and they're right there. Spatula is correct. I would have also accepted wooden spoon, though. One time in Texas, a woman yelled out, rolling pin. I was like, whoa. Only to be topped later by a guy who yelled out, oven rack. Okay. I am not judging your sex life, but that is some intense shit. See what I'm saying? Like, somebody wants to get beaten with an oven rack, but does not masturbate to balls. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't make the rules. But you guys, things got pretty heated, pretty sexy. We were able to finally kind of find a rhythm, and I'm not going to tell you everything. But we kind of got into it. We were going, and he got close, and he was like, I think I'm going to go. And I was like, yeah, you are. You're so sexy. Look at you go. You're so sexy. Work it. You're so sexy. And he's like, I think I'm almost there. I think I'm gonna come in your hair. Oh, you better not. You better not. Not even in role play, motherfucker. I just fucking dry shampooed. Nobody's coming. You can fuck my eye. Fuck my eye if you have to. I'm not coming in my hair. What kind of animal? If you've ever come in a girl's hair, you get the fuck out of here right now. I don't want those kind of fans. I don't want those people. Monster. I want to end on this. We were talking about my son earlier, and it can be a very challenging thing to have a special needs kid. And my son is high functioning, so if you have a kid who has even more challenges, I just want to hug you after the show and tell you that you're so brave and so patient and so amazing. But it can be really challenging, and when my son was little, I used to worry about him a lot, and I used to be very scared for him because there's a bit of a mourning process you go through when your child is first diagnosed with autism. You kind of have to learn to love the child that you have and let go of this idea of the child that you thought you wanted, which if you don't have kids is true whether your child is special needs or not, because they are all cunts. They're just all, they are. When you're pregnant, you have all these ideas that you guys are gonna learn to read together. I was gonna say, I'm gonna try that again, because I was saying learn to read together. Like, I didn't know how to read when I was pregnant. Which is not far off, guys. Salmon again. So when you're pregnant, you have all these big ideas, that you're gonna read them Tolstoy, and you're gonna take them to the park, and instead they puke in your bra and take a shit in your couch and hide it, and you love them anyway, and you just think they're amazing. And that was true with my son. And I used to worry, like, what will happen to him when he moves out of my house? Like, when he grows up and he's out in the world, like, who will take care of my brilliant, wonderful little weirdo out there? And something happened, and I thought I'd share it with you because I feel like it's a pretty uplifting story. A few years ago, when my son was younger, he was up in the shower, and I was down in the kitchen, and he came down the stairs very excited, dripping wet, no towel, just fully nude, comes in, and is like, I'm got a lot of big ideas for the Mars Rover program. Just totally naked. And as he was telling me these brilliant ideas, I realized in that moment that my son has the biggest dick I've ever seen in my life. And I don't want you to get worried, like, oh, maybe Emma hasn't seen a bunch of big dicks, like #blessed, like the kids are saying. I know my business, and this thing was a real monster. It looked shocking on a child's body. It was like Lancer. Like, he came in and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, wow. Maybe here's a tea towel. Maybe hang that lengthwise. Why don't you run upstairs? Try not to trip on that. And as my son was going up the stairs, I realized that he's going to be just fine. Yeah. Somebody's gonna take care of him, Between NASA and that hog, my son is living the dream. There's not a person in this room who's gonna have a better life than my big-dicked autistic kid. So, just how it is. Just how it is, guys. You know, sometimes it's really special to me to get to talk about my son, and that's why the name of my album is Shut Up Calvin. I let him name it, so there you go. But it's really special to get to talk about my son because a lot of times the parents of autistic kids or special needs kids will come up to me after our shows and be like, oh my God, my son is also, autistic, or my daughter, or sometimes special ed teachers will come and be like, oh my God, it was so great to hear like the story of what we deal with. And that's really special to me. But even more special than that is how often autistic men come up to me after shows and say, I also have a huge penis. It's a real monster. Would you like to see it? And you know what, Boise? I always would. Thank you guys so much. Shit, you've been amazing. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Sit down. I gotta do thank yous. I gotta do some thank you. You guys are so lovely. Sit down. I'm going to do some quick thank yous, and then we're going to have a dance party and cake. I thank you guys so much for being a part of this taping. It means the world to me that you were here. I might cry. That you were here and that you were part of this, and this was so fun, and you were so wonderful. So round of applause for yourselves. You guys were great. Thomas Paul Band, they were wonderful. Sam and Beck, always so kind to me. Danny Gold and Bobcat Goldthwait for giving me some money to do this. Of course, Dylan Haas for helping me put so much of this together. Cody Giddings, who was our director, and all the crew, so thank you so much. And thank you, Boise. You guys are the most beautiful people in the world, and I love you. Thank you. Stay for the party!